He represented the rams, which represented our redemption, that he took our place. And he represented the doves, that his very spirit was there as well. So we were totally and completely cleansed by that act. So when it says, "For your name's sake you shall pardon my crookedness, though it is great," we understand that we are no longer crooked. If we believe and receive with praise and gratitude, in spirit and in truth, the word and the salvation of Yahweh Elohim, then we are made upright. All right? Mem. Who then is the man that fears Yahweh? He teaches him in the way he should choose. Well, if we reverence, the word is not necessarily fear. It is to reverence. It is to uphold. It is to love. What are we doing? If we reverence and we uphold and we love, then we are wanting to take that and help others to grow. We become that reflection again. We become the image of Elohim. And his word reflects, and his love reflects, and his compassion reflects, his mercy reflects off of us back onto others. So we become a part of the house that reaches out to those that are poor. We reach out to those that are hungry. We reach out to those that are thirsty. We reach out to those that are sick. We reach out to those that are in prison. And we give them to drink. And we feed them. And if they're naked, we give them clothes. And if they're sick, we come visit them. If they're in prison, we come visit them. And these are the things that Yeshua said. Get on my right. He separated the sheep to his right. Said, you did these things, and whatever you did to the least of my brethren, you did this unto me. And that's what we're trying to emanate, is that we're trying to be like our master. Nun, his life dwells in good, and his seed inherits the earth. Well, we come to Nun, and we understand that Nun means life. But Nun also means a reward for faithfulness. And that our reward for being faithful trickles down to our posterity, our children. That everything we do bears fruit. Our children learn from us and they bear fruit. The people that we teach learn from us. They bear fruit. And the seed multiplies. The fruit multiplies. The seeds are dropped off at other places. That starts to grow and bear fruit. Those seeds and those start to bear fruit. So we expand the blessings that have fallen upon us. We take that reward for faithfulness and we spread it. And that reward for faithfulness enters into the lives of other people. And then they can spread that to other people. And then before you know it, we have a lot of good going on that's helping people to turn around and to grow as opposed to stagnate, or worse yet, be like the seed that fell on the road that sprouted off, but there was nothing there to grab. There was no foundation, there was no soil. So all it did was dry up. So what we're doing is we're spreading that word. We're spreading the faithfulness. We're spreading the love of Elohim. But we're planting it in good soil so that it will bear fruit. Samech. The secret of Yahweh is with those who fear him, and he makes his covenant known to them. The word for secret is actually the counsel. the counsel of Elohim is with them. And he makes his covenant known to them. We have to imagine that we get to a point in our lives where we hear the voice of God. We hear the voice of Elohim. He counsels us. He leads us through his Spirit. And because he does that, we are able again to take that to others and show them the covenant. That his covenant is made known to us is that we are reminded of that covenant and that we maintain that covenant. We remember the covenant in which we are a part of. Everybody with me so far? Okay.
Yeah.
We are at Ayin. Again, Ayin, my eyes are ever towards Yahweh, for he brings my feet out of the net. Well, that's an interesting one. My eyes are always in the direction of Elohim. Watch him, and he brings my feet out of the net. Okay? If we understand that if we are perceiving his word, the word for net, the word for snare, trap, is Zadi. Okay? It's a letter that represents this. But if our eyes are focused on Yahweh Elohim, if we are bowed down with our hands lifted up in prayer, in praise, then he lifts us up out of the net. What happens is that we're no longer stooped over and crooked, because the final form of Zadi is what? We are lifted up, we are raised up. Our feet are pulled out of the net, and we become righteous in his eyes. We observe what he wants us to do. We follow his word. We keep his word. We strive to pay attention to what's going on so that we don't lapse in the covenant. This is what Jeremiah was telling us, that it wasn't Elohim that broke the covenant. It was his people that broke the covenant. We don't want to be the ones to break the covenant. So we pay attention to the covenant. We perceive, we discern, we understand, and we act on that. That's why we go back to 2 Timothy. We study. We do everything we can. We're eager, we're diligent to pay attention to the word. Pay. Turn your face to me and show me favor, for I am lonely and afflicted. In the Barocha, when we say the priestly benediction, what do we say? Lift up your face to me. But we say, be gracious to me. Show me favor. And we picture that we are lonely and we are afflicted. Sometimes we get that feeling that the weight is all on me. Poor, pitiful me. I'm all alone in this. But we don't realize in the pay that he picks us up and he looks up into our face. Just like a mother or a father would pick up their child after they've fallen down and skinned their knees, and you pick them up and you examine them and make sure they're all okay. But we're not alone. And if we feel that we're afflicted, then we're letting that one thing that gets in the way get in the way. We're letting that flesh get in the way. Because we turn it over to Elohim. And we take his word and we understand through his word the multitude of things that are there to help us to get through. We've said that for every situation, every problem that we have, there's an answer found within the 66 books that we have in the Bible. Okay? Combination of Tanakh, the Gospels, Acts, Epistles, and Revelation. There's an answer for our situation. Do we want to slow down enough to get the flesh out of the way and take a few minutes to go and say, I'm in a pickle, what do I do? And believe it or not, he'll lead you to a obscure, insignificant passage in Obadiah. And there's your answer. It works. But we have to have the faith to slow down enough to stop depending on ourselves and depend on, the most powerful, think about it, the most powerful entity in existence and beyond that invented the situation you're in specifically for you to get into it, so that you would have to figure out whether you're going to get out of it or whether you're going to ask for help. Okay?
What's this obscure passage in Obadiah you're talking about?
Huh?
What's the obscure
Oh,
passage?
I was just using
Gotcha.
Obadiah is one of those books that
Yes,
you
yeah.
never turn
No,
to. I mean,
you're
it's,
right.
it's a whole whopping page long.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
I'm just saying, one of them little obscure passages in
Right,
some obscure
right.
book that we never pay any attention
Right,
to.
sure. Okay,
Unfortunately.
cool.
Probably be teaching on Obadiah all next month, so.
There you go. He'll teach us to.
Yeah. I'll get a message, I'll get an email from the boss later that says, oh yeah, Obadiah is obscure, here, teach this.
Yeah.
That's all right, I'm good.
Thank you.
Zadi, the distresses of my heart have enlarged. Oh, bring me out of my distresses. This is when we realize, that we're in that pickle. And we realize that that pickle has gone from a little bitty gherkin that it's now a big kosher dill. And we realize that we can't get out of it. So what are we doing now? Oh, bring me out of my distresses. Okay? It goes back to blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the reign of heaven. That if we will stop letting the flesh get in the way, I can do all things through me who strengthens myself, and understand that I can do all things through him that strengthens me, then I realize that I don't have to sit here and watch cucumbers. That I can actually call on him and he will deliver me out of my distress. It might not be in the time frame that I want, in the way I want, but that deliverance will be immediate and it will be right on the money, exactly what I need. Because it took so long, I may have to build patience along the way. Cough, look on my affliction and my toil and forgive all my sin. What do we say sin was? We said that sin was something that we do continuously, over and over. Okay, that's a habitual. But forgive me, and this is reinforcing what we read in Cough, that look on my affliction and my toil. It says consider where I'm at, perceive where I'm at, discern where I'm at, understand where I'm at, and then get me out of it. Elohim doesn't need that much time to figure it out. He knew what you needed to get out of it before you got into it. So, again, this simply, we're acknowledging I am spiritually lacking. Forgive me, and forgive my perpetual need to be spiritually lacking. And get me out of this. Forgive me. And he is quick to forgive. Resh, see how many my enemies have become, and they hate me with a violent hatred. That thing that gets in the way requires a lot of grooming, requires a lot of, it's a high maintenance thing. But the more we succumb to that carnal need, the more we realize that it really, really hurts us. Now, it's not wrong to be carnal. We are carnal beings. But when we depend on that carnality, as opposed to depending on the Spirit, then it grips us. And it's as if it hates us. And in reality, it does hate us. Because what is at the root of carnality? What is the thing that feeds the carnality? Deception. The deceiver. The Satan.
Sure.
Satan can't be everywhere at every time.
That's right.
He can't even read your thoughts. What can he do? He can entice you with all kinds of stuff
You see.
and drag you away because he has a loathing for us in his heart. And that's something that we have to understand, is that he wants to drag you. She wants to drag you. It wants to drag you. It has a lot of different forms away from the Word, away from your relationship with Elohim, so that you will fall and not get back up. So we go to Shin. O guard my life and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I have taken refuge in you. Now Shin backs up what we've just talked about. That in Shin, like we've talked about, is that we have two sides to Shin. We have the front side and the back side. What is it telling us? Oh, guard my life and deliver me. Whose point of view are you looking at? Are you looking at it from the front side of Shin? Or are you looking at El Shaddai? Almighty Elohim. That his point of view is what guards us and protects us. Or are you looking at it from the backside of Shin, which is the carnal point of view, Satan's point of view, the part that will drag us down? This is a very subtle thing. I'll mention this one more time as to how subtle it is, that we see the monster drinks. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this. It says, unleash the beast. But what we don't realize is that on the front of that monster is the nice M that's all funky and creepy that makes an upside down Shin and is composed of 3 vavs. If you look at it, it's composed of 3 vavs. It says unleash the beast, which we are unleashing the beast. But we are unleashing it from Satan's point of view. This is the subtlety. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with drinking monsters, but we have to understand what although they're really, really bad for you. And they
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
they taste nasty. But,
Why support that?
but I'm saying the subtlety of the deception is there. And this is why it says, oh, guard my life. We are saying, Elohim, guard me, protect me, open my eyes so that I can see this coming before it comes, so that I not be ashamed, for I have taken refuge in you, which takes us back to the very second part of this. If we have taken refuge in him, then we have entered into his house, that we pay attention to his instruction, that we yield to him, and we don't depend on ourselves, our point of view as opposed to his point of view. And finally, Tav, let integrity and straightness guard me, for I have waited for you. Redeem Israel, O Elohim, out of all of his distresses. I have waited. I have patience for your redemption, because it is through your redemption